at the Los Angeles Coliseum, where tonight it's the Express playing host to the Denver Gold. And as you look at the standings in the Western Conference of the USFL, you can see that this is almost a must-win situation for the Gold if they are to entertain any thoughts of winning the championship of the Western Conference after losing to Oakland last week. Hello, everyone. This is Tim Brando, and I'm joined by Marv Levy. Now, you might recall Bill Johnson, whom we mentioned at the outset, only played a quarter last week in that loss to the Invaders. He's back and healthy, but that's not true where the Express is concerned with their star.
Steve Young, their ace quarterback, is suffering from a badly sprained neck. Does not look like he'll see action. But Frank Sire is going to step in, and Tim, Frank has performed well when he's had the opportunities to lately, but there's a big load on him tonight.
Now, when you start talking about the Denver defense, they were picked apart by Bobby Hebert. You got to believe if the LA Express can get started right, they may be in great shape offensively.
Well, the big difference, of course, is pass protection. Oakland did a great job against Denver's great pass rush, but LA has not fared well protecting the passer. Their corners, Denver's corners, are exploitable. LA will have to go after them, but they must protect.
All right, now you probably read all the headlines. John Hadl and his staff learning that they would not have a job with the United States Football League and the LA Express at the conclusion of the regular season. Now, Marv, with your situation in Chicago, though not exactly the same, somewhat similar, what must Hadl be going through right now?
Well, Tim, this is a great opportunity for John Hadl and for his staff to show what they're always talking about, some real strength of character, functioning under adversity. This could be a great win for them and a great effort they're going to have to bring forth from their club.
Now, the USFL says there will be a franchise here in '86, though it may be in the San Fernando Valley. This could be the last game in the Memorial Coliseum for the Express. All right, there is Jim Asmus preparing to kick off. It will be back deep for the Los Angeles Express. Dwayne Gunn, there he is, along with Tony Bodie, and they're awaiting the kick. There's Bodie, awaiting the kick coming from Asmus as we get underway here. Sort of a sky kick, good coverage as Gunn has it at his 10. Tripped up at about the 22-yard line, and making the stop was John Nevins. And there's Sire, the quarterback. And we have an injury on the opening play there. Maybe Nevins that made the hit. I think it is.
He made the tackle, Tim. He sort of caught him on the corner of his shoulder. Now, he came into the game having suffered a pinched nerve a couple of times last week, and maybe he aggravated that. Those can be very painful, and they tend to recur more and more often when you aggravate them.
Well, they don't want to lose him. They call him Scrap Iron. You can understand why here.
He caught it right on the helmet. You see him beginning to feel the pain. It's sometimes referred to as a burner or a pinched nerve. I'm only speculating it's a re-injury of what he had last week, but that will be quite a blow to them because he is the key man in their defense.
Yeah, Miles Davis understands it. A rookie out of Cal State Fullerton, a homecoming of sorts for him. Boy, he has been behind the 8 ball where injuries are concerned, even off the field. In 1982, he was shot in a mishap in a street in nearby Compton, California. And now, though, he appears to be in much better shape than he was in 1982. Now, for Los Angeles offensively, it will be Sire at quarterback. Up front for Los Angeles, Mike Rother will be the center, flanked by guards Ed Fisher and Derek Kennard. Gary Zimmerman and Dan Dubiago pressed into duty will be the tackles tonight. Sire, the quarterback, is running back Mel Gray. His wide receivers include JoJo Townsell, Dwayne Gunn. The H-back is David Herzer. And there is the end around coming to Gunn. Gunn has room to the 30. He's still on his feet and may go even more here. Down to the 32-yard line and fumbles. It's recovered by offensive lineman Derek Kennard, and a great opening play for John Hadl and company.
You can see they're starting by letting it all hang out. They toss the ball here to Mel Gray, who's their primary sweep man, but a reverse on the first play of the game. They get that pursuing Denver defense going all the wrong way. It is really a let-it-all-hang-out approach that you can see the Express is going to bring to bear, and it's a good thing number 70, not as fast as Dwayne Gunn, is chasing the play, Derek Kennard, because that would have really taken the wind out of their sails. They have that long play to surprise them and then lose control of the ball. But they have it on the 30-yard line going in. Well,
they went to Gray, and he got no Nicholas made the stop.
You know, this is a one-back offense, and it's tough to run a one-back offense with the smallish backs that the LA Express has. Fellas like Kevin Nelson, who's out of this game with an injury. Kirby Warren also plays there. He's 195. The biggest of them, and Mel Gray, at just 175. That's a far cry from that John Riggins type of back at Washington.
And no one likes to hear about injuries when you're 3-11, but obviously this team has weathered a great storm where injuries are concerned all year long. Setbacks are split. Bodie in the game, and there he is going in motion. Pass for Townsell is incomplete at the 8-yard line. Lance Shields was there to provide coverage for the Gold, along with strong safety Darrell Hemphill. And it will be a third down situation coming up for the Express.
Denver double covered last time on Dwayne Gunn. They took an inside and outside with their safety and corner and invited him to go to the backs out of the backfield, figuring that they could maybe pick up 5, put him in a 3rd and 5, but it worked out even better than that. It's 3rd and about 10.
The H-back, Hersey, moves into a slot left with Gunn and Townsell, the wide receivers. 3rd and 10. Plenty of time, and it's batted down. And then nearly picked off.
That was close to being picked off there. The ball was bad, and it didn't go very far downfield. We can get another look at it. Short drop, as you can see by Sirer. Just 5 steps. This is what they're going to do, and something they have to do. But hands are up there by a defender. I could not see his number on the play. It was Pat Ogren, number 79. And he got his hands away, and that sure saved them a lot. It brings in Tony Zendejas, who's been extremely effective this year.
Boy, he has, to say the least. This one will be from 34 yards. Jeff Partridge will hold. The one consistent thing with the Express all year has been Tony Zendejas. In true form, he comes through right on cue to give LA a 3-0 lead. Another day at the office for John Hadel and his staff. And Tony Zendejas performing in usual form, connecting from 34 yards out. Now look at that. He has not missed a field goal under 40. He's hit all but 2 beyond 40 and 50.
You know, he's only missed 5 all year, and he's tried 4 outside the 50. This guy, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, I think he's the best kicker in the game today.
Now, they say that he may be wearing a Washington Redskin uniform next year. You can understand the interest. Taking the kick right back up the field is Lonnie Harris. Harris, with a bit of room, gets out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Danny Rich and Andy Mellentree got him out of there. And Bob Galliano comes on to bring on the Denver Gold offense and their version of the run and shoot. He did not have one of his better outings last week, and he's going to try to make up for that tonight. Up front, he'll have Tom Davis as his center. Mike Neese and George Yarno will be the guards. Ray Wagner and Matt Miller will be the tackles. Wide receivers are Lonnie Turner and Mark Lewis. The slot backs, Bill Stiegel and Leonard Harris. The running back is Bill Johnson. Leonard Harris in motion on 1st and 10. That's Harris. Speaking of short drop and quick throw, he has it up to about the 34-yard line. Howard Carson and David Howard combined for the stop for the Express. Defensively, a 4-man line, but they'll change it from time to time against the run and shoot. George Achika and Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, the tackles. Ben Rudolph and Fletcher Jenkins, the ends. The linebackers, Andy Mellentree and David Howard outside, and Howard Carson inside. The cornerback will be John Warren, along with Wyman Henderson. We'll set the safeties for you in a moment. 2nd down and 4. Galliano in a bit of trouble. He got it off just in time while in the grasp of Big Ben Rudolph.
Well, Galliano took a lot of time getting it off, and Rudolph came on a delayed rush. Not a delayed rush, he was delayed at the line of scrimmage by the man blocking him, Ray Wagner. Here we see Galliano sprinting to the right. He'd like to deliver the ball, but he can't because Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, number 61, is in his face, and then from the backside comes Ben Rudolph to spill him.
All right, it's John Higgins along with Darrell Patillo defensively along with Dwight Drain as they go with the nickel backer and bring in 5 and 6 defensive backs against the run and shoot. 3rd down and 4. Nice coverage that time by John Warren, and the pass falls harmlessly, incomplete, and it will be punt time for the Gold.
Well, the Express is overloading the sprint outside. They tried to come back away from it, but John Warren, getting his first start in quite some time, replacing Ed Scott over there at the right corner, did a very good job of coverage, forced the bad throw, or Galliano would have had an interception.
Asmus also handles the punting chores, and he's come on now. And there's Dwayne Gunn back deep. Now, he fumbled one last week that really hurt the Express in their loss against Jacksonville. They played a good game against the Bulls before 50,000 plus in Florida, only to come away with a defeat, 21-7. Well, too much time's going to be called to give Asmus more room.
Number 9, offense.
Well, indeed, if they're going to punt, that really doesn't hurt very much. They'll punt from the 44-yard line, and the end zone means that penalty doesn't mean much because you can still punt the ball as far down into opponent's territory as you would have from 5 yards closer.
Well, you saw the look on Mouse Davis's face. He is not happy with what he's seen offensively in the opening series for his club. Angling for the Kaufman corner. Gunn calls for the fair catch, and it goes right in the middle of the field, although he had been angling, and it will be a touchback. And that Memphis-New Jersey game should be something, and you can tell right there how meaningful it has to be for both clubs. Birmingham on top with a 10-4 record. They still have a difficult schedule in front of them, many road games. Just under 5 minutes to play. First quarter here from Los Angeles. The Express leading 3-0. Kirby Warren in the game. He gets nowhere. Well, linebackers Stan Blinka and John Nevins.
Nevins has come back with fury. I tell you, they got good takeoff in the Los Angeles line. They moved the defense about 2 yards, and then Nevins hit him and drove everything back. Coming out of there now, however, because it's a nickel situation.
Well, actually, there was some premature movement by both, but who prompted who?
False start. Offense.
Well, somebody had a little twitch in there, and then the defense reacted strongly, which means that it's the penalty against the offense.
Gary Zimmerman, the guilty party, we understand, the left tackle out of Oregon. That's a matchup that we'll have to watch tonight. Gary Zimmerman against Turner, Calvin Turner of the Denver Gold. 2nd down and 14. Well, obviously miscommunication between Townsell and Sire. Calvin Lovell was the closest party to that aerial, the right cornerback for Denver.
L.A. very concerned about their protection. Here you see Bruce Thornton, number 60, the premier pass rusher in the league, being blocked by Mike Sherrod. Sherrod lets him loose. Dan Dubiago, 71, picks him up. Thornton, under those circumstances, is going to get nowhere near the passer. Somebody else did, but at least they're taking care of the premier pass rusher, Thornton, and then their good pass protector, Gary Zimmerman, is assigned to Calvin Turner on the other side.
3rd down and a long 13, we'll call it, with the ball at the 32, and the Express leading 3-0 with under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Hersey in motion. Flags are down. Townsell had a hand on it. It was knocked free by Lance Shields. Darrell Hemphill was also back there.
Holding. Number 67, offense.
Ed Fisher, the guard from Arizona State, the veteran.
They loaded up with a blitz there. Fisher had to change assignments at the last moment. Instead of pushing a man using his hands, he grabbed him, and he realized it. He's being told there, you see, on the sideline by his teammate, probably his coach first, but instead of pushing, he grabbed.
Jeff Partridge will punt for Los Angeles. Lonnie Harris is back deep. standing at about his 25-yard line.
He's awfully deep, 47 yards.
Well, he has some momentum, right? Almost too much. He does make the grab, but he's down in his tracks at about the 34-yard line.
He had to come forward and make a very dangerous catch.
Little verbiage being passed between a few members of the Gold and the Express. In the middle of it there is Terry Irvin, a reserve linebacker. He's making most of the noise for Denver. We have a flag down.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask on the kicking team.
Under 2 minutes to play. 1st and 10 for Denver. Mark Lewis up at the top of your screen. Galliano looks for him and finds it. Inside the 30 at the 28, Wyman Henderson made the stop. They called it incomplete out of bounds. Perhaps he lost it as he went out of bounds.
Denver now is putting 3 receivers to one side, either by virtue of motion or shifting them over there. Once that happens, there is a heavy preponderance of defenders by LA on that side. The wide receiver, Mark Lewis, in this past instance, is isolated on the single corner out there, and they're working back to that side.
Now, he caught it, but he caught it out of bounds. So that's why it's 2nd down and 10. Stiegel dances and prances to about the 37. Howard again on the stop for the Express. 3rd down and long coming up again for Denver.
Really noticed in past weeks teams trying so hard to take away the deep passes and conceding the short pass and then drilling all week on converging on that short receiver against the run and shoot. Don't give them the big one.
Galliano 5 of 9, 22 yards so far. He has not been able to find any of those slot backs on those deep crossing passes. It's up to this junction. Taken in by Lonnie Turner. Out of bounds at about the 11. John Higgins knocked him out there. They'll mark it at the 13.
Here we'll get a look at what I've been talking about. All the receivers are up towards the top of your screen. The defense is over there, just one defender. John Warren on the bottom against Lonnie Turner on the also on the bottom, of course. But you can't miss that tackle. You're going to give up big yards when that happens. Higgins saves them on that, but they're down inside the 15-yard line.
We'll call it the 13. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Los Angeles leading 3-0. 47 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Down.
Start. Number 10, offense.
So apparently it's Galliano taking one of those premature moves that you can sometimes make with your head or your hands.
Apparently so. He must have pulled out enough and then put his hands back under, realizing that he had missed his own snap count.
That's a pretty intense guy, Mount Davis. A lot of fun to talk with, but when he's on the field, he takes on a different look as head coach of the Denver Gold.
I know a lot of coaches like that. They're great guys until they step out in that field, and then all their concentration's in one direction.
Stiegel in motion. There's Stiegel for the touchdown. Well, they put him in motion, and he made good use of it, didn't he?
He sure did. That was a beautiful splitting of the zone. That takes a lot of courage to catch that ball because your head's back in the line of scrimmage. You're running through a lot of traffic. Here Galliano taking that ball, sprinting to the right. You see Stiegel heading straight upfield. He delivers that ball, doesn't know who's around him, in the perfect crease, and he high steps it in. This is his first start, and it's a great way for a young man to start. You get another look. Galliano had looked over the defense before. Notice a 3rd step. He knows it's there. Bang, he delivers it. And that's what Mouse likes about Bob Galliano. He said he reads more quickly than other quarterbacks that he's worked with recently.
Asmus for the extra point. So that pattern that had not been there throughout the first 14 and a half minutes suddenly was there with only 43 seconds left in the opening quarter. The Gold leads 7-3. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Los Angeles trailing now 7-3. Gray has no room. He'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Trimble along with Stan Blinka in on the tackle for Denver. There's a look at Blinka out of Sam Houston State. That's in Huntsville, Texas, just outside Houston.
The all-time leading tackler at Sam Houston State. They've really only run 2 running plays all night. The toss sweep to Mel Gray, or just a straight fullback, if that's what you want to call Mel Gray, over either tackle. That's it. 2 running plays and a variety of passes, mostly sprint out.
Just over 11 minutes left in the half. Tim Brando and Marv Levy with you here on ESPN. Thursday night USFL action. We're happy you joined us. Sire to Hersey for the touchdown. A good drive, and you have to feel good for that guy, Frank Sire, along with Hersey. And it's now a 9-7 Express lead.
Hersey came in motion across formation. The 2 wide receivers on that side broke. Inside, Hersey kept going to the flat. There was so much traffic, his man couldn't stay with him. Simple completion. Again, off the sprint action, we see Hersey 81 just coming into your picture there. He almost pulled away from the ball. And again, the tough part about this is the back blocking on all these sprint outs for Frank Sire is that 175-pound fullback, Mel Gray.
Well, we mentioned that he had the time. He had been 2 of 9. Now suddenly his statistical data moving up, and so is his club. Under the authorship of Frank Sire and David Hersey, the Express lead 10-7. First down and 10 for Denver at their 20-yard line. They trail 10-7. Johnson touches the ball, and he makes something happen. First down outside the 30 at the 33. Patillo made the stop, Darrell Patillo. And we haven't been calling Johnson's number much at all tonight.
Well, here we see him coming out behind the man in motion, Stiegel. Everybody falls off on that side, and Johnson, not great speed, but he picks up the first down, and again, they've got to use him. You know, there's a great tendency of pass-oriented coaches to forget the running game. He's got to have a remind me coach. He's got to have a coach who goes in and says, remind me, we got to run.
Well, he needs your keys. Go down there and give him a key. You mentioned it at the outset.
He's not going to listen to the guy in the booth, but I'll talk to you about a remind me coach in a minute.
All right. Galliano to Harris, and he's out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Dwight Drain made certain that he got out of bounds. A remind me coach.
Well, you know, every coach has pet things he does and things he knows he should do, but doesn't do enough of. It gets in the course of the game, and he tends to forget 1 or 2 things. And honestly, I used to say, coach, every now and then, this game, you're my remind me coach. Remind me, we got to blitz more. Remind me, we got to run a fake field goal now and then. Keep them honest, and more coaches might prosper from doing it.
You like to have assistants with great recall.
We usually get a guy who's upset because I'm not using that certain element enough.
Second down and 5 yards to go with the ball at the 38-yard line for Denver. Johnson, that's 5 and then some. Boy, he just took one guy and flattened him. He ran right over Patillo and Dwight Drain. Drain, the strong safety, was wiped out by Johnson, and he just hammered through for the first down.
Great line takeoff, Johnson, a straight north-south guy. Once he's heading straight upfield against secondary men, he's going to win 98% of the time. I'll tell you, that remind me, coach ought to get himself a doggone game ball if this keeps up.
5 minutes and 26 seconds are left in the half. Tim Brando and Marv Levy with you on ESPN. Thursday night USFL action with the Los Angeles Express leading by a score of 10-7. Ray Wagner was injured during that last interlude on the Johnson run. He's checked out of the game. Greg Loper has come in for him. Galliano has got it to Harris. He's out of bounds. And Dwight Drain over there. They're giving Drain a workout on Leonard Harris right now.
Well, Drain has to go in motion. When Harris goes in motion, he has him either man-to-man or he takes the short flat zone. So either way, he winds up there. But he's hustling and doing a very good job. They just don't want to let him have to cover Harris deep alone. And they haven't put him in that position yet.
Second down and a yard to go. Here is where the run and shoot usually has some fun. Second and short with the ball in the opposition's side of the field.
Single wing has fun second and short. Everybody has fun second and short.
It's a first down, or perhaps a bit short. It's Wyman Henderson making the stop. Stiegel had room to pick up more yardage with his route, but for some reason did not extend himself far enough, and he is short of the first down.
Galliano put the ball far in front of Stiegel. However, Stiegel didn't keep circling upfield. I don't know what he's required to do, but it looked like he was circling upfield and sort of feathered down and stayed in one place, and Galliano led him. It didn't mesh real well, and Henderson was able to come up quickly enough to deny him the first down.
Third down and short now. Should be all business here. They put it in the air to Stiegel. Inside the 35 to the 34. Again, they're picking on Dwight Drain.
Well, passing on third and just inches, because they would have gone for it on fourth down is my guess. It was so short they figured they might try to get a big gain on that play. Dwight Drain continues to get his work out there over in that right defensive flat, making the stop on Stiegel's short gain, but first down.
Stiegel already has 7 catches in this game. So they have used him predominantly in those short patterns. Los Angeles not yielding the big play. Galliano has posted some fine numbers to this point. First and 10. Intercepted. Wyman Henderson. Henderson has it up beyond the 30-yard line.
There is another facet of the type of defense Los Angeles is playing. They say, you'll get impatient throwing those short ones. You'll just get impatient. Here Galliano comes out, and lo and behold, he does try and put it deep downfield. Tries to throw it over one linebacker. He's in the way. It's picked off. It was David Howard, and picked off now by Wyman Henderson for a good gain, and that thwarts the drive.
And there's the short drop and the quick pass. Intended for Haynes at about the 15. Right there with him, Lance Shields.
That is the identical type of thing Oakland did to him last week. Gordon Banks making the catch. Hebert laid the ball a little bit further out in front than Sire did on that particular play. Haynes had separation from Shields, and on a perfectly thrown pass, it's not easy to throw, would have had a completion.
Now, Sire discussing the issue a bit with his receiver, saying, okay, I owe you one, maybe. Mouse Davis talking with some of the officials. We have a marker down. There's some discussion right now on perhaps where the ball should be placed. I thought I'd seen a marker, but perhaps not. Second down and 10 is what they're calling it now. They may have been discussing the time remaining.
Well, it's hard to know. We could almost hear Mouse Davis over the TV set there. He was quite vociferous, but I don't know what he was saying or what that call was.
A single setback now with Hersey in motion for the Express. Second and 10. Gray got it, and McKibben wrapped him up. The right linebacker, and he's hobbling just a bit.
Sire had a lot of time to throw on this. His protection was good, but he finally ran out of time. Finally, he only gets so much. Delivers the ball at short. McKibben has very good coverage, a good wrap-up tackle. Sire again dropping back. He doesn't stay there long. He delivers on pretty good time, but it's not a very effective game.
1 minute, 24 seconds left. A key play here at the end of the first half. Third down, and about 8 yards to go. Sire gets away from some trouble and then throws into double coverage, and it may have been picked off. I think it was. Hemphill got it. Darrell Hemphill picked it off, and that time Sire made a poor decision, throwing into double coverage under duress.
Well, again, here's the sprint out and throw back to the inside, and it's pretty hard to see who's coming, who's there, but you're pulling the defense right into the ball when you do that, and we see Hemphill pick it off, and if he didn't trip over his own man, he might have been off for a long game.
So, suddenly, with 1:15 left in the half, With the aid of Hemphill, the run and shoot comes back on. 1:15 is plenty of time for them. There's Stiegel. The same theory for the run and shoot as Galliano rolled one way and then threw the other. They picked up some yardage on it, and Darrell Patillo made the stop.
The difference there, of course, is he rolled to his left, but didn't throw the ball on the overcrowded left side where the defense was being pulled. He threw it back where the defense was pretty much denuded.
Second down and 4. Stiegel again. He is really padding his statistics tonight, and receptions. Howard Carson made the stop. This is number 9 for him on the night.
Except for the touchdown, most of them have been short, but those slots catch a lot of balls. Last week they caught 14. The wide receivers only caught 4. And Denver continues to have trouble hitting their wide receivers in their offense. People won't give them the wide receivers.
All right, a timeout call there. You see 9 receptions, 51 yards, and the touchdown was a 17-yarder. So the bulk of those yards came on the touchdown, that little look-in pattern while in motion for Stiegel in the latter portion of the first quarter.
That's right. Otherwise, what is it, 8 for 33? It's close enough, I guess.
There's the series record. Denver leading it 3 games to 2, and the last meeting was all Denver gold. 51-0 was the final. The largest shutout win in the entire history of the United States Football League.
But no, 8 sacks in that game. I don't know. I can't recall one tonight. It's held up. There might be one. I just don't recall it.
39 seconds left in the half. Third down and a yard for Denver. Johnson. First down all the way to the Los Angeles 40-yard line. Now, Denver has used one of its timeouts. They've just called another. Alonda Smith and David Howard made the stop. The runaway freight train from Denver got loose in the secondary for Los Angeles, and he picked up a healthy chunk of yardage. Well, they really have not used Johnson the way you had figured at the outset.
No, they're using him a little more recently now. Their previous series, and then again now. Los Angeles has kept the ball pretty well. Johnson only 4 carries with a great average when he's carried.
That tells me that Bill Johnson perhaps needs to touch the ball a bit more in the second half.
Yes, he's carried 4 times. I'd say a good night for them is if he carries the ball about 18 and they're doing well enough so they get yard, and he carries another 7. Their running backs have had 25 carries, and maybe sprinkle another 5 in between their quarterback and the slot back getting a ball once or twice. 30 carries for the night total, most of them by Johnson.
Bob Galliano at the controls. And Galliano is a guy you know a great deal about during his stint in the National Football League with the Kansas City Chiefs. He played under you.
We had drafted Bob. He was our number 3 quarterback, but had developed very well during 3 years. We were probably going to trade our number 2 fellow and let him move into that spot. We liked him.
First down from the Los Angeles 40. Galliano loads his gun, and Stiegel had an opportunity, but it was taken away by John Warren along with Alonda Smith. Johnson rather than Stiegel, the intended receiver.
Well, here we get a look at Los Angeles secondary. You see 3 deep. In fact, the deep middle safety is almost out of your picture. He's in there now. 4 short zones. They're trying to split the zone. Now you got to converge, fellas. And they did converge quickly enough. Warren was coming in from the outside or the top of the screen. I didn't think he came in quite quickly, as quickly as I would have liked, but it was effective anyway.
Now the first opportunity for reception for Troy Johnson. He's checked out. Stiegel has come back in. Second and 10. There's Stiegel again. That's number 10, and he may have a touchdown here. Knocked out of bounds, perhaps, just shy of the end zone, inside the 1. John Warren made the stop, and now just 12 seconds left. What a big play this is for Denver's offense.
Again, Bob Spring was left, throws back as a short game. Here come the defenders. Patillo's right there, but Stiegel puts the move on him. That's a short game. We're going to give you that, they say, but you can't miss tackles. Warren knocks him down. I think he got in, by the way. But they're only a yard away, 12 seconds to go. Well, that helps his average a little bit. When you play that philosophy, you can't miss tackles. No question about that. And one man might, but the rest of you have to be converging fast enough.
Red flag is being thrown here. Denver must think he got in.
They'll lose their last time out on this.
That's right.
They don't get it, but I think he's got a legitimate... All right, here, let's take a look. Let's judge for ourselves here. Here's Siegel coming down. He's hit. Now, if he hits the pylon before any of his body hits the rest of the white stripe short of the goal line, it is a touchdown. It's obscured there, though. You can't tell if his foot did hit the sideline or not. For certainty, it doesn't look like it did, but you can't tell certainly, and an official isn't supposed to change it unless he can tell certainly.
Mouse Davis looks as if he might have come up with a win here.
Mouse got great eyes. You can see that from across the field. But I'm sure his coach in the press box said Mouse looks fantastic.
Let's take one more look now.
Well, again, Stiegel well inbounds here, about 2-3 yards inbounds. He's hit. Can't tell if his foot hits that sideline or not before his shoulder hits the red pylon, or if his knee hit the sideline before it hit the pylon. But if it didn't, it's a touchdown.
Well, they're discussing the issue right now. And it's apparent that this conversation may last for some time.
From that replay picture, I couldn't call it. Therefore, in accordance with the official's reading, I'd have to say the play stands as called.
And they are going to let it stand or not.
I don't have a mic.
Mouse Davis is frustrated now, so it must be going to stand as we had originally anticipated. So, Marv, you were right.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, if I were to guess from what I was able to see, I'd say he made a touchdown. However, it would be a guess. It wouldn't be a certainty. The league rule says there has to be no question about it that it should be changed in order to change it.
Well, you'd think Johnson would get it here, wouldn't you? He does. And he scores. Touchdown, Denver. So all of that doesn't matter. Not now.
I tell you, that was a tough play. He gave himself, here's a replay. Let's get a look. Bill Johnson is as good a back as you can have carrying that ball. No question about that one, of course. Just takes a nod. This is their trap play normally when he nod steps like that. We see the left guard pulling. We get some good clearance along the line of scrimmage, and he gets in. But the chance they took there was, that was a one-play shot. They could have thrown incomplete. Still had the chance to run that play with 6 seconds left on the clock. Nevertheless, he did the right thing. He scored. That's what counts.
But an entertaining first half, and it ends with a near punctuation mark by the run-and-shoot offense, though there are still 8 seconds left to be played in the half. Mouse Davis rolled the dice and came up with a winner. And it's a 14-10 Denver lead. Mouse Davis feels a lot better now.
Well, he does. Both Denver touchdowns, though, Tim, came as the result, in my opinion, of some poor tackling out on the field, which let them get close enough to cash in on the score.
Still in all, the Express must feel good about their situation. They're very much in the hunt here. Gun off the pitch, gets it out to about the 35-yard line. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Express, though that's not very significant. With only 2 seconds left, they'll have time for one play, and that will be it. John Hadel's got to be saying to himself, though, gee whiz, I'm 3-11, and with 2 seconds left, suddenly I'm down by 4 when all the momentum was with my club for much of this first half.
When you're struggling like his team has struggled, you've had the injuries you've had, and things have gone against you, you just sit there and you say, oh gosh, here it's going to happen again. You strain so hard to stay on top, and then just don't let the roof fall in on you. You think Denver's playing them for the deep pass? They've got a safety man who is 45 yards deep. 45 yards deep, I'm not kidding. He's deeper than that throw that's skying up there.
And it is incomplete, and that will do it from the Memorial Coliseum here in Los Angeles. The Express now trails Denver by a score of 14-10. That's Haynes to the top of your screen. Sire throws the opposite way and incomplete, intended for Lowell. Now Zendejas will be called upon to answer Asmus and collect 3 for the Los Angeles Express.
Lowell fell down when he cut. He ran a curl route. Sire's delivering the ball very nicely, very smoothly, sort of an effortless, smooth-flowing throw. He has a nice overhand motion. I like the way he throws the ball. He's young. He'll get a lot better. It's a tough field goal, 45 yards into the breeze.
9 of 11 from this distance, between 40 and 49 yards on the year for Zendejas. He got it. Breeze and all. It's 3 more for Tony Z, and it's 17-13 Denver. Little Tony Frisch theatrics there at the end, letting everyone know, hey, I got it. He'll be in the restaurant business when he gets out of football. Lonnie Harris takes it in his end zone. He breaks it to the outside. Markers are down, and he's down at the 32-yard line. Among others, in on the stop, Gary Lowell.
It was Coach Don Freese, the receivers coach over there, also that got cleaned out on. He was a little disturbed about it.
That's the second game in a row that I've worked on ESPN where a coach has been nailed. John Jenkins got it. The run-and-shoot offensive coordinator in the Houston-Jacksonville game. They talk about taking some ribbing from the players. Coaches get it when they get knocked off their feet on the sideline.
Well, the longer you're in it, I was in it about 18 years when I realized when that play starts coming at me, I'm getting out of there. I used to take off and start running, and because I've taken down a few times, I guess every coach has, and you get a little bit older, you get a little bit more careful.
As we mentioned, there has been a flag. A clip was called, and so Denver will begin on their patio at about the 9-yard line. Now, I was told you wore a suit of armor once in Kansas City. Is that true?
That was for the fans.
First and 10 for Denver. They lead it by 4, 17-13. Gerhardt's got it, and he has a first down beyond the 20 to the 22. Howard Carson made the tackle.
It's the screen pass. Pretty good against the zone. I don't know how they get that thing through there. In fact, one of the defenders fell down, which allowed the pass to be completed. This guy has good balance, too. Mouse has a lot of faith in Garrett. He got Johnson on the bench again, as we see. And apparently, something physically wrong with Bill Johnson after having what would have been a good night if he could have picked up that pace.
Well, remember now, he only played a quarter against Oakland, so maybe a recurring injury from the original one a few weeks back. That's Stiegel out of bounds at about the 25. They felt confident that he'd be healthy in this game. Mouse Davis's staff. David Howard made the stop. Stiegel with his 12th catch of the game. And he is beginning to get the image of being a possession receiver.
That he is. Again, he's had the touchdown, however, and he's had the run that set up the other touchdown. So even though most of them have been very short, he's had 2 big plays in the group. Get the ball to a fella 12 times, he's going to make some big plays.
Well, that's what they get because L.A. is keeping them from hitting the big one, right? I mean, somebody has to get those short passes.
And it'll be the slots most of the time. Or the fullback.
Second down and 10. Galliano. That's going to be a first down to the 40-yard line. Pass taken in by Troy Johnson. Galliano's at it.
You know, on the zone now, Galliano is practically dropping straight back. He comes a little bit to his right, but he sends his receivers deep and hooks them in the zone. They're not trying to run crossing routes anymore, which are better against man-to-man. They're hooking up in creases of the zone. Go cat and mouse game again, and this is what they feel should work now. L.A. is going to have to counter with some type of coverage change-up.
Johnson out of the game. Lonnie Turner is clocked in. Stiegel goes a motion. Galliano to Stiegel. The one that went for a touchdown may go again. Touchdown.
Well, missed tackle again. Londa Smith missed a tackle after Stiegel caught it. It's an all-the-way job with those speedy receivers. Let's take a look at the secondary. Again, it's a 3 deep. Linebackers don't get very deep. They hit Stiegel behind the linebackers. A missed tackle by number 21, and in the process, Alonda Smith, and in the process, he picks off his corner man, Wyman Henderson. Stiegel rolling into the end zone. Let's take a look at Stiegel all the way on it. You see that he's coming across the formation in motion. Now he's going to drive downfield into the crease of the zone. Same pass he caught for the original touchdown. He would have been in the end zone by now. You saw Alonda Smith miss. It's a shame. Missed tackles are hurting them badly when their scheme is very good.
Ed Scott had the last crack at Stiegel. Got a hold of him about the 2-yard line, but Stiegel was able to carry his momentum through for the touchdown. So now with 2:38 left in the third quarter, Denver's goal coming through. They're up by 11. First down and 10, the ball outside the 40 of Los Angeles. Townsell again, just shy of midfield, wrapped up by Hemphill. Nice gain of about 8, perhaps 9 yards. They'll mark it at the 50, so it will be second down and a yard coming up.
The moment Sire starts sprinting out, the defenders on that side begin to take outside positions on the wide receivers, expecting outside breaks. But that's the pass you'd prefer throwing. It's requiring them to start to run curl patterns inside of them. But again, those are much more dangerous.
Chris Haynes and Townsell are the receivers in the game. Flank down to the bottom of the screen. Kirby Warren with some room. Inside the 40-yard line of Denver. And that's the end of the third quarter. The Los Angeles Express on the move offensively. They need a drive desperately. They trail 24-13 as we're 3 quarters done. Tighten up the game a bit. They trail 24-13 as we open play here in the fourth quarter. They're at the Denver 39. Tim Brando and Marv Levy with you here on ESPN. We're happy you're with us. Markers down. Sire gets out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Extracurricular activity now between Dave Nicholas, Doug Nicholas, and Fisher, the offensive lineman. There's Nicholas. Thrown in an area where holding could possibly be the call. The preliminary indication is just that. Sometimes our microphone has worked and sometimes it hasn't.
Holding. Number 57 offense. Personal foul. Defense. Personal foul. Offense. Replay.
Can't replay. Somebody was telling me he couldn't replay something, one of the players. Can't replay 3 fouls, he started to say.
That's right. 1 on my team and 2 on the other, so we get at least a few yards.
Well, the fight that took place before the ball was dead negated the holding.
That's right, and Nicholas got caught.
Forgive me, Cal Lepore, if I got that wrong, but that's the way I say it. My director of officials.
So it's still first down. At the 39-yard line of Denver. Sire for Haynes. The fans that are here want a pass interference call against Cal Lovell. They won't get it. Haynes, the intended receiver.
Here we see Lovell and Haynes battling, where I think Lovell interferes with him, no question. And now he's looking at the official, getting ready to say, I didn't do it, but he never did get the flag. I thought he interfered. Maybe they didn't rule it because it was an uncatchable ball.
He had that whodunit look on his face, didn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't me. It might have been someone else.
That's right.
At the end of 3 quarters, statistics told you they're still pretty even. Denver got about a 100-yard lead now in passing yardage as Stiegel is on the roll.
One of the things that I noticed there where rushing yardage is concerned is the lack of Bill Johnson in the Denver offense has certainly aided Los Angeles in hanging in here.
Well, it has, but they're winning without him because of the night they're having with Stiegel. Unusual.
Second down and 10. Haynes has it inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. Delaney made the stop.
You know, Tim, we haven't seen Dwayne Dunn at all this half. He dropped a few in the first half. We've seen Chris Haynes play for him. We've seen Gary Lowell play for him. I know John was a little upset, John Hadel, that Dunn had fumbled a key punt a week ago, and then when he dropped the 2 passes earlier, Haynes and Lowell had their chance for playing well.
Sire, you see they're having a pretty good night, and they have afforded him the opportunity to throw by the sprint out action and the quick patterns that are being run by his receiver.
Yes, they have. This is a second week in a row, I think, that Denver has gone, at least thus far in this game, without a sack.
down and 10 at the 27. Fire for Townsell, incomplete. Give Lovell credit. He has been tested truly in this game a lot of times in one-on-one situations, and that time he gets the A+.
Well, here's Townsell coming down, making a slight inside fake on his break, planting. He's being double covered. Hemphill 25 on the inside. Lovell, who should have the outside on him, makes a good effort for the ball. Both men driving the ball.
This will be a 39-yard kick. Is concerned, you almost think that's automatic, and he missed it.
Yes, a little bit to the left. A little bit to the left of the upright.
No score for Los Angeles there. It's 24-13 Denver. 9:16 is left. And here goes Stiegel again, en route for a possible 15th reception. Go ahead and finish your point. What were you going to say?
It wasn't as important as the time that was left on that clock right now for Stiegel, who's getting tired, and for those 4 defensive backs who are getting tired.
Second down and 10 coming up.
They say if you can't remember a point you're going to make, it wasn't very important. I can't remember it.
The thing about Hadel, though, and you have to really feel for Klosterman as well, because he's the guy that inked all of the great personnel that helped Los Angeles into the playoff hunt. And now with all of these injuries, their hands have been tied. They've been unable to sign players in positions of need after these injuries have taken place. Gerhardt is the lone setback. Over the middle, and that's Caleb again. Same pattern that worked twice for touchdowns to Stiegel. Alonda Smith made the stop at the 10-yard line. That has been the bread and butter play for the Gold all night long.
Watch Galliano back out. Why? Look at the secondary. They're strictly in man-to-man coverage. Man-to-man coverage. He saw a blitz was there, so he just backed up and tried to unload the ball quickly to Caleb. The pattern was the same, but Galliano's action was different. It was a blitz read action rather than a sprint out.
Caleb from East Central State, 3 receptions and 40 yards on the game. Just a rookie, and boy, the receiver corps for Denver is very much like the receiving corps for Houston. They just have so much in their arsenal. Gerhardt, without a lot of room, makes good use of the terrain in front of him. Squeezes into the 6 before Danny Rich makes the stop.
Denver going in for what should be a clinching touchdown if they score. So LA has to really get it up here. They're on the 6-yard line. If you stop here, your chances for winning still remain alive. Slim, yes, but alive. It's tough. They've got everything going against them. Again, playing with those 4 defensive backs against the run and shoot is almost impossible.
And we point back again to that big interception that was taken away from Los Angeles at the outset here this half. Incomplete. Stiegel got a hand on it. Also in the area, Lonnie Turner. Actually, both of them were in a position to possibly come up with the grab. David Howard and Alonda Smith on the coverage.
Let's see if this replay shows what I think I saw. I thought Ed Scott had a chance to pick this one off. Galliano having all kinds of time. Here we see the ball up. There's, well, no, Scott, the ball was deflected away from Scott.
David Howard got a hand on it.
Several people had hands in the way. It would have been a very difficult reception there, almost impossible. Here's Gil Stiegel. Beautiful, quick move. He collides with Alonda Smith. They both keep their balance on it. Both of them are too small to knock anybody down, I guess.
Gotta have good reflexes. 3rd down now. Gerhardt to about the 4. Miles Davis obviously thinking field goal perhaps here. Fletcher Jenkins made the stop along with Clay Rule.
Well, the touchdown doesn't put the game away, but it gives him some comfort. It would give him a 14-point lead. I mean, a field goal doesn't put the game away. I'm sorry. The touchdown, I think, would have clinched the game. 14-point lead leaves him pretty comfortable with 7:43 to go or 7:01 to go. Nevertheless, it's not the same as a touchdown now.
So give some credit to Los Angeles for hanging in there when times were getting bad for them.
Absolutely. Now, where's there somebody? We got somebody here who's going to block a kick. That's what the coach is saying. You can turn the game around now, son, if you go in there and block a kick.
Number 10, offense.
They may be giving Asmus just a bit more room here.
Well, they were right down there in the 3-yard line where the PAT would have taken place. I think they spent too much time making up their mind whether they wanted to go for the field goal or use the 4th down.
Now the question must be asked, would you take this if you're Los Angeles?
Yes, I would take it.
All right.
From the 3-yard line, it is a slightly easier kick. You diminish the likelihood of a fake field goal a little bit more.
And it will give now Asmus an opportunity for a 26-yard kick. Again, Galliano will hold. And he got it. It is not over yet, but it's looking bleak for the Express. They trail by 14. We should mention that the Los Angeles Express and the coaching staff and management alike all this week have been amidst a lot of controversy concerning their futures. And the future of the Los Angeles Express in '86 will be in San Fernando, in the San Fernando Valley at Pierce College. Gerhardt gets it. Down to about the 36-yard line.
There appears, Tim, to be a lot of enthusiasm in the San Fernando Valley for the Express's move out there. Have a professional football team there, and it seems to be a wise move.
We've got the 2-minute warning now. Here's the reason why the San Fernando Valley is the new home of the Los Angeles Express. Attendance below 4,000. And people wonder about the San Fernando Valley. They need to obviously come up with a field and a facility worthy of USFL standards. But that city in itself, or that area, the San Fernando Valley, if you take all the cities, Van Nuys, Sepulveda, Burbank, and many, many others, Toluca Lake, would cumulatively make the 7th largest city in America. So they certainly have the population to support a professional football franchise.
Plus, no professional teams out there and a hunger for them.
2nd down and 8. Gerhardt gets it and is down to about the 31-yard line. Markers are flying.
Well, the game which earlier appeared to be a cliffhanger has sort of become a cliff dweller right now here, Tim. But and the markers always slow it up. It should.
Higgins gets the call. John Higgins. That's the frustration penalty against Los Angeles.
Well, it's a young man, John Higgins here, who doesn't want to lose. He's going to fight it right to the wire, and maybe he comes in late after the tackle's been made, still trying to assert himself and compete. Good judgment slips aside in something when something like that occurs. But Denley helps sober him up when the flag is thrown against him.
Ball is at the 16-yard line now. We should mention in the San Fernando Valley, Pierce Junior College is where they will play a game, their final game of the year on the 15th, final regularly scheduled home game. So they will preview the '86 season there at the end of the '85 season. There's a sack by Achika, George Achika. We haven't been calling his name a great deal tonight, the 4th-year player out of USC.
Denver line has done a good job. There's a mistake. That was supposed to be a trap play. It's going to go in the books as a sack, but I saw the right guard, Mike Neese, pull the trap, and the pivot by Galliano was the same pivot they used to run the trap over the left side. Gerhardt was supposed to nod and hit back over the left side. He didn't. Galliano was left with the ball and said, holy cow, here comes a Chica. Why couldn't it be Sendejas coming to tackle me instead?
Bob Galliano. He's only missed 8 times tonight in 45 attempts. Markers again are down. Taken in by Lewis. Inside the 2 at about the 1. Alonda Smith polished up on Mark Lewis.
Illegal motion. Offense.
Well, the penalties are aiding and abetting a cliff dweller here. Well, with less than 2 minutes left.
You know, it's a strange thing. Here, a penalty is going to take away what looked like a sure touchdown the next play or two for Denver, but it's at a time where it no longer matters. The penalties that happened earlier in the game came and had great impact upon the chances of the LA Express.
Mouse Davis, who keeps this game in perspective. He's a very hard worker and puts a lot of pressure on himself, but yet has that easy temperament away from the game that makes him a joy to be around, and the players love playing for him.
He loves to talk about the run and shoot. When you get him in those pre-game conversations that we've had before these telecasts, he loves to talk about it. You say, we don't want to keep you, Mouse. We don't want to keep you. We know your vision. No, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk some more.
Pass is incomplete for Gerhardt. He heard a lot of footsteps, though. And the ball is still at the 27-yard line. 3rd down and 21 coming up. There's a look at Mouse Davis. Here's a guy that has made his name in the USFL with the Houston Gamblers, now as a head coach. And there are many, many guys, both coaches and players alike, that have made their name in this league. And you can point to his fullback, Johnson. He's out of the game now. The 346th player chosen in the open draft in '84 out of Arkansas State. Didn't even play his senior year. Now suddenly he's worth a lot of money to a lot of potential teams if he becomes a free agent. Intercepted it at the 10-yard line and bringing it right back up the field is Ed Scott. Ed Scott breaks free again. And a little Cal Berkeley number. Now it's Alonda Smith. And another one. And it's fumbled forward and out of bounds. Perhaps they're going to call a forward lateral here. Howard Carson was the last guy that had it. Now that's entertainment in Hollywood.
Well, it was an exciting play. Ed Scott. Did he have to cut back? I guess so.
Illegal forward pass. Number 21 of the white team. 5 yards.
Well, there's some people hustling out in front of him to get blocks to...
Wait a minute. That's a forward pass?
No, right there. Right there is the illegal forward pass.
Right, well,
when Howard Carson went down, he just flipped the ball forward.
Well, it was Alonda Smith's number that had been called, and he obviously pitched it back, not forward. At any rate, it happened, and it was a heck of a lot of fun to watch. It's still Denver on top by a couple of touchdowns. At the 35-yard line of Denver, Los Angeles has it with 35 seconds left. Sire for Haynes. Touchdown.
It ain't over yet.
1 down and 1 to go, says Marv Levy. The Los Angeles Express with a never-say-die attitude and a great throw from Frank Sire here.
Well, would they go for 2 or kick it? They're going to kick this one, apparently. Zendejas is out there. But if ever there's a team that might go for 2, considering the injuries in their secondary, to try and win it now on the next touchdown, if they get it, it should be LA rather than time.
So the interception and the fun and frivolity that followed leads to a touchdown that could perhaps propel the Express right back into the thick of it here.
Well, here's the onside kick that doesn't tell it all coming up.
27 seconds are left. Only in Hollywood, right? The Express are right back in it, trailing by 7. Considering that Denver wins this game, and it appears now that they've got it all but sewn up, they will be 10-5. Oakland 10-3-1, a game and a half up on the Gold. Houston, of course, playing this weekend 9-5, would need to win to remain tied with Denver. Now, Houston is percentage points ahead of Denver because of their past meeting at the Astrodome, and they'll again have their rematch very soon. Galliano sits on it again. And it appears now the Express content to let the clock run out, and that will do it. To the credit of the Express, with all its problems, they were able to make it interesting and a bit entertaining in the latter part of this game. Our final score, though, from the L.A. Coliseum, the Denver Gold 27, Los Angeles 20.